Tonight, coal plants closing. Today, FirstEnergy announced its plan to retire 6 coal-fired power plants. 3 of those plants are right here in Northeast Ohio.
The plant shutdown is a big blow for workers and the cities that rely on the plants for tax revenue. Here's a look at the plants set to shut down: the Ashtabula plant, the East Lake plant, and the Lakeshore plant here in Cleveland. And that's where we find News Channel 5's Paul Kiska. He joins us live tonight. And Paul, the shutdown is because of environmental concerns.
Well, that's right, Danita. The U.S. EPA wants to cut down on the amount of mercury and toxins that these plants put into the air we breathe. But as far as our local economy, this is going to affect an awful lot of people. It cost us hundreds of jobs. Since before World War I, the steam and soot that rose from these plants created endless electricity and jobs that currently pay $70,000 to $80,000 a year. Hundreds of workers were notified at 7 a.m. that 3 local FirstEnergy plants were closing, and they were losing their jobs.
It's hard in this economy to find a job as it is, and lose a plant that most of the people probably even have tenure. Have to go back out in the workforce and try to find something else.
East Lake resident William Hilliard feels bad for the workers and worries about the impact on the local economy, but he's relieved. Kids around here will grow up breathing cleaner air, he says.
I mean, with kids growing up in surrounding areas, it's kind of hard to know what kind of toxins are going to be in your kids.
Ohio Environmental Council agrees. Closing the coal-burning plants, they say, will save lives. The Clean Air Advocate issued this statement today praising FirstEnergy, saying, quote, "Pulling the plug on these dirty, old, outdated plants will deliver cleaner air to millions of Americans. It will mean less asthma, less lost work, and less mercury emissions."
We'll work with the employees to see if they would be considered for any additional openings we might have.
FirstEnergy's Mark Durbin says stricter EPA standards on emissions are forcing FirstEnergy to close more coal-burning plants by September 1st. Retrofitting the old plants to meet the new EPA standards is too expensive, he said, considering the 3 power plants range from 60 to 100 years old and only generate 12% of local power.
An example I can use is our largest power plant in Ohio is down along the Ohio River. We recently completed a $1.8 billion environmental retrofit, put scrubbers on, other equipment. Well, these new rules, we're going to have to put additional dollars into that plant.
All right, now power plants from Avon Lake to the nuclear power plant in Perry will pick up the slack to provide electricity for the rest of the grid in our region. Live from the Shoreway tonight, Paul Kiska, News Channel 5.
Paul, we know that East Lake has the most workers at that plant. So what is the mayor of East Lake saying about all this?
East Lake Mayor told me this morning this news that hit there this morning is just devastating to his city. And coming up at 6, why he says this could lead to even more job cuts.
All right, Paul Kiska reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. See you at 6.